How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting. Welcome back to Muv-Luv Monday. Looks like today's the day. Combat day it is. But, you know, on the bright side, Yuuya's going in with literally the best situation possible. They're going in a very controlled situation, quote unquote. They're close to like a friendly base where there haven't been sightings of any laser class, which are considered, at least like by most opinions, and I think mine included, are the most dangerous part of the battlefield against Beta. Not saying that it's much better, but that at least that much lets them have maneuverability without risk of instant death. And then we also have just the circumstances of just all the pilots on the base being young and crazy, and a lot of inner turmoil with the remaining Russian forces, which it sounds like a lot of the oligarchs and like the higher ups are in Alaska, where it's relatively safe because they have the barrier of water, which is the most like effective barrier, natural barrier against Beta, where they're sending anyone else to kind of be the frontliners, which was great. Lots of very dark things happened last episode. Very, very not cool. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, we're just jumping right into things. And yeah, like again, Yuuya, he's got everything going for him because he's not only going to be going out there. Well, they're going to go on a test a TSF, which is always a little risky to take something that's still in development and throw it into an actual battle. But it's not like it hasn't been showing its signs of effectiveness, and he's going in with literally the most effective like TSF weapon that is currently available probably on the planet. So yeah, it's about as good as you can expect, but still. Ugh. Anyway, I guess there's not much else to say other than thank you for joining me, and let's get started. Alright, we received updates of information early warning satellites.
これは48時間前の衛星写真だ。この H26 エベンスクハイブ南南西の F 軍とオホーツク沿岸部の K 軍に注目しろ。
Alright, so that hive is not too far away.
これが18時間前のものだ。そしてこれが6時間前。
So they're moving.
極東ソ連軍の分析では6時間以内に K 軍がオホーツク海へ侵入。24時間以降72時間以内に現在海底にいる大規模ベータ軍が押し出される形でティギリ地区沿岸部へ上陸すると予測している。
Okay, so like they're coming in waves, so they think that what's happening is that there's a group sitting at the bottom of the ocean, kind of just on standby, and then Group K was kind of sitting on this like was like stationed almost, you could say, on the beachhead, and Group F was just around the hive. But now they're doing a shuffling effect where Group like J is sitting under the ocean, K's moving in, so J is going to move up and begin an assault, where K takes up that original position. Group F then goes to replace where K was, and then ostensibly Group G would then rise up from underground, having just been repurposed and reformed in the base of the Evansk hive, and then yeah, you've got yourself, boom, there you go. Okay, so I think I'm picking it up.
これは通常の間引きでは抑えきることのできないベータ大規模侵攻の予兆だ。その数は最低でも師団以上。軍団規模を上回ったケースも記録されている。
Oh boy, isn't division scale like 1,000 and then Army Corps like 10,000?
これらの侵攻は例外なく半島北部の陸路をたどる迂回ルートとオホーツク海から押し出される都会ルートの2経路で行われており、今回もそれはほぼ間違いないとされている。
The one thing about Beta is up till this point they've been relatively predictable.
我々はこのうち都会ルートによってオホーツク沿岸部に迫るベータの上陸阻止を任務とするソ連軍部隊に随行し、第1回目
About darn time.
アルゴス試験小隊との共同作戦では極東ソ連軍の精鋭ジャール大隊が当たる。その指揮官を紹介しよう。
全員起立。
Alright. There she is. It's her.
ジャール大隊を預かるヒカーツやラトロワ中佐だ。楽にしていい。これが諸君の実験場となる戦域だ。北部区画にソ連のイーダル試験小隊、南部区画に統一中華軍のバオヘン試験小隊、中央区画はアルゴス試験小隊となる。
Our area is a peninsula that stretches about 20 kilometers further into the sea than the northern southern testing grounds, huh?
重心陣を引きやすくて有利だけど、もしも戦線が瓦解したら、南北からの攻撃で完全に退路は閉ざされてしまうわね。
So essentially, it's a good place for us to be just because it's easiest to reinforce and it's like a good defensible position. But if we get flanked, we're in big trouble.
ああ、確実に包囲殲滅される。
So what? Risks like that come with the territory when carrying out field tests? Again, this is his inexperience showing. Anyway, can't help but wonder why they even took it about this every time I took. I can't help wondering about this every time I take a look at satellite photos. But how come the beta don't target our satellites directly? Seems there's a new theory popping up every other week, but all our best and brightest have come up with is that since satellites have never attacked the beta, they don't consider them a threat. Doesn't take a genius to see the circular reasoning there. Oh god, it sucks knowing. It sucks kind of like having the understanding of what this is, and like why that's the case. It sucks. Thanks to this oversight by our alien friends, humanity has managed to survive this far, which is all the more reason to find out what makes those crab fetches tick. Can't leave these things to chance when our strategies heavily rely on access to satellite information.
諸君は実に運がいい。幸いにもカムチャツカは今、周期的な大規模侵攻頻発期に入っている。実戦形式の試験はやりたい放題というわけだ。
Sarcasm much? Too bad for her, but that's how we honestly feel. It's a given test pilots have to face the beta at some point. I've been ready and willing since long before I was transferred to Alaska. In fact, I want it like never before. It's been my best bet to experience the sensation again. Sure, having to lug a railgun around took the wind out of my sails, but the determination hasn't wavered at all. I will make the sensation of my own, even if it's the last thing I do. Cool, great. He's chasing the contact high. That's great. It's been barely 6 days. I've already forgotten what every day feels like. In a sense, the run-in with the pack of feral kids was the blessing in disguise. Made me realize everyone in this base looks down on us, from Lieutenant Colonel Latrova down to the lowest of the conscripts, making a whole thing real. I'm dying to show them we're better. But I'm aware of my limitations. Are you, though? Lieutenant Takamura, or the Scarlet Twins, could show him who's boss without breaking a sweat, but me, much to my chagrin, I'm gonna have to work for it. Everyone looking at me like I'm human garbage is a constant source of irritation, but my failure to demonstrate the Type 94 second's full potential will just fill me with anger. A TSF is useless and frontline pilots don't recognize its effectiveness, the whole reason we're sparing no expense on the Type 94 second. The machine's potential is too great to be described in a word or two, and I just happen to be the guy hurting its reputation.
では次に、作戦の概要に移る。第一段階は水上艦による爆雷攻撃だ。
That makes sense.
第2段階では、上陸地点に対し、海上艦艇、地上支援砲撃部隊、航空爆撃による面制圧を行う。この海岸線を第一防衛ラインとする。
Air support this early? Well, there's no laser class around, so why the heck not?
第3段階はそれをかいくぐった敵個体を機甲部隊と戦闘ヘリ部隊の直接打撃にて駆逐する。この時の機甲部隊初期配備位置を結んだ線を第2防衛ラインとする。
Helicopters are interesting because they're so delicate, but if there are no laser class, you probably could get away with that. Like, the problem would be Fortress class. They're the next biggest threat because not only are they super big, but they also have like a kind of ranged attack of their own with their sting, which I imagine, with seeing how dexterous and manipulative it can be, wouldn't surprise me that it could be a dangerous threat to airborne vehicle. I mean, it hits TSFs, and I'm sure it can take them out of the air. So, but other than that, if you have no laser class and we have that air superiority, like, that opens up a lot of conventional tactics that could be really effective, even more effective than TSFs if employed properly and having the right training and equipment. But I'm guessing a lot of that training and equipment's been sidelined because most of the time in serious engagements, it's just not viable.
そして第4段階。万が一混戦になれば、いよいよ戦術機部隊の出番となる。この時の初期配備位置が第3防衛ラインだ。ここまではセオリー通りだが。
Yeah, exactly. It's all well and good to make a plan. Never works out the way you think it will, but that's okay. If you make a plan trying to cover all your bases, but then you also have fallback positions even in your head. You know, you say, when this happens, we do this, and if this happens, we do this. If this flank falls, we reinforce from this area. Like, you have to have like backups to your backups. That's the one thing I would be good at, I think. I don't know if I'm tactical. Like, I don't know if I could be a strategist. I might be able to learn that, because the only reason why I even say that is because I exercise this type of thinking in my head all the time. I go into a situation, I go in with a plan. I usually have a plan for things falling apart, and I usually have a plan for even if that falls apart. And like, I usually plan out what I call my worst case scenarios, and I do this with social interactions. I do this with trying to go to like an event. I do this with travel. I do this with like when I was going to school, my schooling and my schedules and my homework and all that stuff. Like, I had these fallbacks and fallbacks and fallbacks because I feel, I don't know, pressured, motivated to just always have at least some kind of plan. And so like, that's why I always say, like, if I were in the Muv-Luv universe, I'd probably be super useless on the front line, but if I were serving, I would like to believe that my talents would be best molded to serve as a coordinator, like someone on the ships, you know, working communications, or maybe working with a squad as a like I said, as a direct like HQ coordinator. Just my personal feeling, but I'm pretty confident that that's the best place I could be in such a situation.
振動探知など総合的に残敵が一定数を下回ったと判断された段階で、大隊規模のベータ軍を第二防衛ラインまで意図的に引き込む。諸君はそれを使って存分に実験するといい。
Man, that would feel real obnoxious. Be like, all right, so we have to accommodate these tests. So not only can we I know we're gonna have to fight for our lives, but then we have to accommodate allowing some member of Beta through so that they can shoot at them with their fancy guns from a safe, defensible position when there's not really any more of a threat anymore.
以上、子供にもできる簡単な任務だ。
A mission so simple, even a bunch of kids will have a little trouble keeping up with her orders. That's the message. The Lieutenant Colonel's convinced we test pilots are nothing but a burden. This is her way of saying that Feral Pack will have to sacrifice themselves to pull up our sorry butts above the fire. Once, if not, we effed up. Well, I see your point. Can't be about it be about the disrespect until I'm blue in the face, but these little turds have logged hundreds of hours more on the field than me.
では最後に、我々が貴様らに望むのは、第一次派遣部隊におけるデューマ小隊の鉄を踏まないよう注意することだけだ。
Yeah. Yeah, the Lieutenant Colonel hates our guts. No two ways about it. Leaving the podium without waiting for us to salute, that's her way of saying we ain't worth crap. Whatever. I'll make her eat those words before long. She better believe we won't be following in Duma's footsteps. Okay, here's the thing though. Yeah, you might not actually do that, but even in the current situation, if things go according to plan and you execute it perfectly, even if your equipment's impressive, like if you're successful, that's the thing, like your equipment, they're gonna say like, oh, well, it looks like these TSFs are looking pretty good after all. They're designed well because even people who have no experience and no business being on the front can pilot them successfully. And like, he could be all proud of himself, like, look at all I did on there, but they're gonna be like, look, you had like the Railgun, the most advanced like weapon that is available to, like not even available to TSFs, like it's not even available. It's like the most advanced thing that's in production, and you can just, you know, go to town on it. Sure, cool. I'm pretty sure anybody could do that. Like, it's not that's not the reality of it, but that's how they'll probably see it.
戦況の変化に応じて項目実施順の変更、切り上げは柔軟に行う。ケースごとの変更パターンは刻々と変化するぞ。
Right.
各自データに。
Sorry, I keep clicking. Sometimes the blocks of text are tough because sometimes they go through really quickly and sometimes they take up much longer than they look, and it's a translation issue. Some words and phrases just are more expressive or less expressive depending on the language. Wait a second, I'm pretty sure these guys didn't have any combat experience. Dermaflight lost it mid-battle. Things spiraled out of control. Their escort unit got caught in the middle, suffering the consequences. You can bet that's not going to happen to us. I'm the only one without actual combat experience. The Lieutenant Colonel's got to know that much, so why is she going out of her way to act like a dick? I imagine it's about morale. Was she signaling me out? one glance at my service record and figured I was a waste of space? Is that what happened? No. Alright, Yuuya. I know you're used to being kind of like pretty noticeable, but I doubt it's specifically you. Guess that know your place was her telling me I should keep my head down and follow orders, no questions asked. Or maybe it's all in my head. There's bound to be people in the Soviet Union or Third Unified Front with no combat experience. No, I don't think it's that either. I think she just thinks all people who are sitting on their cushy butts behind the lines as test pilots, whether they were in combat or not, are going to be rusty and useless. Like that's what she's probably thinking. Whether that's true, I don't know. She might have a point. She also but she also is probably exaggerating what point there is because it's kind of how her whole battalion feels. Oh.
だから今私が失いたくないもの、それは知らぬ味方とそのメインテストパイロットである貴様なのだ。
I need to cool my head. All those comments are getting under my skin. Everything's gonna be fine. I understand what Senda Takamura was trying to tell me, and I plan to keep my promise to her. I'll complete the field test safely, and then me and the Type 94 second will rise to the next level. All right, son, let's do it. August 9, 2001, 7th day in Kamakura. It looks like we're getting ready to leave.
なあ、ゆうや。さっきから黙りこくってどうしたんだ？おい、ゆうや。何を悩んでるんだよ。もしかして、好きな女でもいたか？
Vincent, ever the voice of the audience. What? Shut up, you idiot. Always the same thing with you and Macaroni. How you horn dogs think your with your upper head is just would you horn dogs think with your upper head just this once? I'm guessing he means like the cortex.
じゃあなんだ。お前、ここ数日急に無口になっちまったよな。
I'm not acting any different. You know I've always been a man of few words.
確かにな。ユーコン転属になってからこっち。お前がよく喋るのは、ユイ姫とスカーレットツインのことぐらいだよね。
That's how you're gonna spin it. Can't stop complaining about them. Where did you even get the idea I have romantic feelings for Cryska, the lieutenant?
おいおい。そんなの、聞かされてた俺が一番よくわかってるって。わざわざ、そんな申し開きする必要ないぜ。
And my counter to that, Vincent, would be, what else am I supposed to do when you bring it up all the time? If I ignore you, you take that as a sign. If I complain about it, you take that as a sign. If I confirm it, you'll just take that as a victory. Like, there's nothing I can do to change your point of view. Give it a rest. I don't have to explain myself to you.
冷たくすんなよ、相棒。仲良くしようぜ。
Oh, God, don't do that. That makes me sick. That was a good laugh. That was, mwah. One of these days, Vincent. Anyway, let me make one thing very clear. I'm not scared. I'm not getting cold feet. I've made up my mind since long ago. Now I'm raring to go.
そっか、そっか。
Huh?
あ？どうした？
Not this again.
は？あいつらって。おい、
Is it
待
gonna be
て！
those punks again? Oh, that Scarlet Twin on the other side of the fence, being mobbed by the locals from the look of it. Don't tell me Yuuya wants to play the White Knight in shining armor. It takes cojones to worry about some woman right before your very first battle. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, alright. Still, how's he gonna jump over that fence? Oh boy. Little turds are picking on Inia and Cryska again? Enough is enough. I don't give an F if they're Lieutenant Colonel Latrova's subordinates or if we're barely better than tourists. Someone needs to educate those bees. I'm not gonna be the kind of guy that believes in sparing the rod. Hey, assholes!
Yuuya! ブリッジス。
Oh, Cryska's like, please don't. Oh, fetch me. How did I cross over to the other side? Oh, these dumb prints were in the way.
だよ、またてめえか。
They're just leaving?
Yuuya!
Hey, Inia. Inia, are you okay? Did they do anything to you?
クリスカがやっつけてくれたよ。
Scared them away.
ブリッジス、一体何の真似だ？
What? Shouldn't it be obvious?
相変わらず慣れ慣れしいやつだな。で、そんな大声で、一体何の騒ぎだ？
Did she hit her head or something? No, I thought you guys were getting harassed again and...
何を言っている？
私たちがトラブルに巻き込まれていたとでも言うのか？
Interesting. You telling me you weren't? Well, then again, she's awfully composed this time, so maybe I misinterpreted the situation. No, my mistake. But after what happened last time,
前？
What? Why can't I practically see the question marks above her head? When I say last time, she's supposed to remember that the time these little turds are ganging up on them. That's how the conversations work.
何の言いがかりだ？貴様、何を企んでいる？
Are they literally wiping her mind? Scheme? Where did you even get that idea? Okay, calm down. Maybe she wasn't about to be attacked again, but other than that, someone please tell me what's going on because I'm completely lost.
クリスカ？いいのよ。心配しないで。喧嘩をしているわけじゃないからね。
Oh, well, good thing I misunderstood the situation. Maybe Cryska simply developed a tolerance for their antics? Why? That wouldn't explain why Enia's so calm, though. She's not exactly a battle-hardened veteran, nor can she act like this was like she was one. Leaving that aside, Cryska's acting like a completely different person. Crap, it's almost like we're back to total strangers. I wonder what's going on. Anyway, glad to hear it was nothing, but there's no way you don't remember what happened. Did your superiors told you to, I don't know, pretend you don't?
貴様が何を言っているのかわからないな。
Oh, this is highly disturbing. Yeah, sure. Well, she's only following orders. I can't expect her to go and just spill the beans.
ところで、貴様に聞きたいことがあった。
What is it?
貴様たちも前線に出ると聞いたが。
Yes, that's the whole reason we came here. We'll be sorting together. What, did nobody tell you?
そうか。では貴様たちは、頃合いを見計らって交代するといい。
What? Are you telling me to run away? Bullcrap, you can't be...
貴様たちの薄汚い血で、偉大なる祖国の大地を汚されたくないからな。
Okay. Alright. So she's had some kind of realigning. Maybe when she was attacked by those pilots and they confronted her with disdain and ridicule because they were oppressed and that Russia was terrible. And she went to her superiors and said they told me that we're suppressing them and that Russia's a terrible people. They're like, oh, okay, well, don't worry. Here, go into the hypnotic chamber and we're going to go through some mental exercises where we're going to delete your memory of the past few days so you don't even have a kernel of mistrust of the government. What?
命は大事にしておいた方が、お互いのためだ。ではな。
おい、ユウヤ！一体何がどうなってんだ？説明しろよ！
What the hell just happened? Yeah, that's a good question.
は？そりゃこっちのセリフだっつーの。
Why is she acting so cold?
おい、とりあえず行こうぜ。
We better. I think, Kamchatka. I can't say Russian.
部隊の移動は滞りなく完了した。機軍の支援部隊も間もなく到着する。あとはベータが実際に上陸するのを待つのみ。だが
どうしました？ここに来て何か問題でも？
He's got the cheekbones of a god.
いや、予定通りだ。機関が提案したまさに予定通り。だが、機関は、いや、機軍としては、本当に良いのか？
何です？おっしゃる意味がよくわかりませんが。
今回は水際での防衛戦。基本的には砲撃戦で型がつくはずだ。それは機軍のこれまでの戦闘記録が証明しているだろう。
確かにおっしゃる通りです。
She's just here watching this.
であるなら、チェルミナートルの投入は無意味なのではないか。確かに我々が持ち込んだ94セカンドも、チェルミナートル同様、高機動格闘戦を主眼に置いた機体だ。だが今回行う試験は、新型火器による支援砲撃。
Interesting. He's making not an accusation, but he's pointing out some of the logical flaws of this. Having the sortie, a close-range dogfighter, in what is supposed to be a long-range weapons test. You could just argue, well, there could be complications, but if he's being really adamant about getting these types of forces in the front lines, maybe they're going to make sure things go wrong, or at least that opportunities are presented. Could it go as far as trying to make like a political play by having like Cryska and Inia come and rescue the UN forces if they get overwhelmed, even with their new TSF and like the cutting edge like railgun technology? If Russia were able to come to their rescue, it would make a very powerful political stance, being like, well, look at it. You have your cutting edge TSF and your cutting edge weaponry, and we had to save you. You know, makes Russia look really good. Alternatively, destruction of the railgun. We talked about that, right? About how Russia might want to get their hands on it. I think ultimately, like, they want to prevent the beta from getting their hands on the black box, which is, you know, Yuko's secret of like hijacking their technology for her own uses. But they might see it as like, we need to keep it away from Russia. So what if instead it came down to they want to provide an opportunity for them to get overwhelmed, taken down, and then not only the survivors get rescued by the Russians, but the Russians also happen to acquire the self-destructed gun. You know, like, it'd be pretty obvious it didn't self-destruct because they go big boom, but they might try and blow it off, saying like, oh, it must have been damaged, you know? But then they get their hands on a really juicy piece of technology. That could be a really interesting play for them to make here.
ええ、知っていますとも。
余計なおせっかいだとは思うが、わざわざ我々に付き合う必要はないだろ
う。なるほど。機関の言いたいことは理解できました。次世代機の開発を見据えて、既存機体の性能向上を模索し、互いに技術や知識、経験を交換する。それが我々ユーコン基地に席を置く開発部隊の共通認識だと理解していましたが。
Yeah, that's right out of the playbook of why. But then again, we're not actually sharing technology. The fact that Railgun's here and you don't know how it works is plenty clear enough. We don't share everything.
もちろんだ。
であれば、我々の考えはそれ以上でもそれ以下でもありません。
Yeah, they could see like an acquisition of a railgun that was dropped by an ally and then picked up and used in order to save the rest of them as a sharing of technology. Ooh, that's the like I'm worried I'm almost reading too much into it, looking for like, you know, shadows out of the corner of my eye, but like it almost feels like just smart enough to work and to have like just kernel enough of deniability to make it so that like despite the fact that everyone would know you're lying and everyone can claim you're lying, they still would be unlikely to do anything about it. It's actually very similar to a lot of the politicking that Russia does right now. And I wouldn't just say Russia. I think America does the same thing. China absolutely does the same thing. I think pretty much most of the big player nations do this to one extent or another.
ソビエトはホスト国として、より良い環境を国連実験部隊に提供し、可能な限りお力添えさせていただこうというだけのこと。あらゆる状況下においてです。
The kindness of your hearts, I'm sure.
なんと素晴らしい理念。全くおっしゃる通りです。プロミネンス計画に関わる我々がなすべきことはただ一つ。より強い戦術機を世に送り出し、人類の未来に貢献することなんです。決して楽な状況にない最前線の国が、進んで全人類に貢献しようと手を差し伸べている。これは無条件で歓迎。いや、称賛すべきことではないですか。
That's the idealism, and I think you're smart enough to know that it's not ideal, that there's never just pure ideals, but maybe just trying to like brush us all under the rug. August 13th, 11th day. Alright, forward to supply
コマンドポス
base.
トよりアルゴス小隊各機。ガイドに従いタクシーウェイを主脚前進。発着場に向かえ。
Argus 1, copy that. Argus leader to all Argus. You ready, guys?
アルゴス2了解。
アルゴス3、了解。
アルゴス4了解。
We'll be fine as long as we do the usual. Look at all the wings. Whew. Argus 2, what's the matter?
いや、お前、落ち着いてるなと思ってさ。いい感じだよ。お前、生き延びるぜ。
Oh, cool. Tiny, you don't have to coddle me. By the way, I like how we can see like in his like arm selection, like the Type 99X Railgun has its actual name on the screen analysis. Well, it's good to know someone's worried sick about me.
別に心配してるわけさ。やめておきなさいよ、タリさん。出撃前の告白なんて縁起でもない。
そうそう。帰ってきてからにしとけって。その方が戦闘の興奮で燃えるぜ。
お前ら
I agree, they do suck.
大丈夫ですよね。
大丈夫、大丈夫。あんたまで緊張してどうするのさ。
でも、死後現金。
67 minutes later, 17:19 hours local time.
振動波異常なし。
It's 5 o'clock-ish.
その部員勘なし。
Argus test flight and its escort forces have been deployed as planned. Armored divisions have finished deploying on the right and left flank. Supporting artillery units are standing by in the rear together with the helicopter unit. The battleship fleet's on patrol near the designated coordinates too. In addition to the TSF battalion acting as our escort, extra ground units, naval fleet, and TSF battalions have been deployed in adjacent sectors several kilometers around. Hard to believe we need to assemble this many troops just to stop a beta from landing. No, you wait, you do. But so what? There aren't extraordinary circumstances, it's just the usual. I simply misjudged the scale of the deployment based on my own perceptions. And besides, the size and scale of a live combat deployment varies from region to region. For all I know, the scale of this deployment comes as a shock to Teresa and the others too. Beating myself up over my lack of experience for fighting the beta won't do me any favors. It's only going to stress me out worse. And I understand you wouldn't want to look green, but with your squad mates, like, I would ask them questions, but maybe this is also why I wouldn't be very good at it. Because I would ask them, be like, so is this like typical? Like, it feels like overkill, but like, I'm guessing it's not. And like, I would like want them to explain it. What does it even matter anyway? There's no guarantee I'll buy the farm in large deployment. Same way there's no guarantee I'll come back in one piece from a small scale operation. The central area of District 1, Cryska and Inia's deployment position. Wonder if they'll be okay. The whole deal's been bugging me. A couple days have passed since our last conversation. They didn't look anywhere near as shook up as the first time those little bees ganged up on them. Hopefully that means they're back to normal. Well, except for Cryska falling back into old habits, that is. I thought we were past that aggro shoot. Real head scratcher there. Maybe shock from the assault was so great it caused a mental breakdown? Tipped the scales on her emotion to the opposite side? Assuming she's prone to extreme mood swings, then maybe it's normal for her to respond forcefully to stimuli sometimes, while on other occasions the slightest shock will send her anxiety spiraling. Not like I could diagnose her or anything, I'm no shrink, but I don't need to be the one to tell the way Cryska and Inia manifest themselves. The same symptoms simultaneously raises more questions than answers. There's no way that's a natural occurrence, right? Whatever the cause of her underlying condition is, it sure isn't as simple as Cryska getting up on the wrong side of the bed the day she called me the capitalist pig. No way they were putting up an act. Inia's an innocent little girl, and Cryska's plenty dense even at the best of times. If I didn't know better, I could swear they were brainwashed. Like all their memories simply went poof. Huh, interesting. Russians taking their cutting edge, like incredible, like pilots, whom he doesn't know, but were technically test results of of Alternative 3. I think it was Alternative 3. Yeah, there's no way that they would use brainwashing to manipulate the way that they think in order to make sure that they acquiesce to their requests without question. You know, it never would be in the interest of Russia. Or the United States, for that matter. Oh man, 5 minutes into the sortie and I can't stop worrying about the Scarlet Twins. No wonder Vincent couldn't believe his eyes. The whole thing is ridiculous. Still, I can't just go and think of them as strangers or soldiers from a rival country. Potential enemies anymore. Cryska in particular. When I see her, it's like I'm looking at the reflection of my former self. And like it or not, I've learned how our way of life is entirely underpinned by folks like Lieutenant Colonel Latrova and those brats holding down the fort. Yeah, I've never spared so much as a single thought about the people who are forced to stay behind after the beta raise their homelands. I should count myself lucky no one in Argus has guilt-tripped me over my lack of experience. There's only one time I can remember the issue being brought up, when Stella made some snide remark that our Soviet counterparts, but that won't be like last time, right?
なあ、ヤンキーどもは随分静かだぜ。寝ちまってんじゃねえだろな。
Sure. Ignore them. Some of P's using the open comm link to F with me?
ああ、あり得る。 し剣部隊様は一日のスケジュールも毎日予定通りなんだろうし、こんな時間に出撃することもないんだろう。
That's so dumb, but like, don't feed the trolls.
いいね。後ろで突っ立ってるだけなら、こんな棺桶だって売りかごだよね。
いやいや、そんな安全な場所にいるくせに、震えて声も出ないってことなんじゃねえの？
Don't feed the trolls.
ありえる。装備だけは一人前。兵士は腰抜けってどこだろ？
Well, looks like some rumor around the rear lines have made their way to this place, and a bunch of smug bees think they know everything. It's true we have a set schedule each day. It's also true we don't do emergency sorties, and we never run trials at night, only because daylight hours are so long in Alaska. But what about it? Fully tested and proven TSFs aren't coffins. Want to know who's flying a real coffin? That's right, it's us! So yeah, I don't feel like wasting my time talking to him. I'll just turn on Vox mode.
たく、いい迷惑だよ。アマちゃんたちのおもりなんてさ。ほんと、貧乏くじもいいとこだよな。うぜえよ。ま、流れ弾に当たって落ちんでくれれば、後々楽なんだけどね。
おいおい、最高峰に引っ込んで動かねえビビリ君だぜ。流れ弾は期待できねえって。
Yuuya's never been good under bullying.
わかんねえぜ。前から来るかもしれねえし。ま、初陣であの世行きってのが一番多いからな。そうなりゃロシア女のケツ、もう追っかけられなくなっちまうな。
Butthole sure can run their mouths, huh? I'm doing my best to ignore them. It's just a bunch of crappy kids who don't know any better, but I'm this close to dragging them out of here by their TSF and giving them a good spanking. Yeah, don't do that. Don't even imply that. My poker face's not half bad, but of course I'm still nervous about the battle to come. Having this bunch trying to get under my skin isn't making things any better. I'm not authorized to use open line in the first place. I'd rather be dodging straight bullets than dealing with this crap. Easier to keep my concentration, too. Lieutenant Colonel Trova has been listening to this whole exchange, right? What the heck's she doing? She's the commander of this unit. It's her job to keep her pack in line. Well, assuming HQ's got this right, the beta should begin their making a landfall in a couple minutes. You got time to chat, you got time to run a status check.
おい、聞こえてるはずなのにだんまりかよ。情けないね。
See, it's okay. So you either don't feed him, or you have to have a really good response. But the thing is, I don't think there's any good response you can have when he's in the position he's in.
ビビって黙るしかねえんだって。今頃コックピットでブルブルさ。ボックスか何かにしてんでしょ。黙り続けてりゃウィンドウは立ち上がらない。ビビった顔を見られなくて済むってね。なるほど。どのみち怖くて声は出せないし、うまいこと考えたもんだね。けど、こっちは守ってやってるってのに、礼儀知らずのアメコだね。
Shut the F up already. Yeah, that's right. I'm the first battle, so I don't want to send an ounce of IM to energy dealing with their bullcrap. Man, I feel for the guy. If I fire back, I'll be lowering myself to the same level as these pricks. I'll become a laughingstock even. Wait, am I really going to become a laughingstock? Because aside from these little turds, who else is going to laugh? Rest of the team? They don't seem too amused. The same guys who've gone out of their way to help me wouldn't switch gears and kick me while I'm down. Scarlet Twins don't seem to be the type either. Rather, they would find this whole deal completely mystifying. Then what about... Nope, she's a stickler for discipline. At most, she would ask us to refrain from using open line for private conversation, but she wouldn't even begin to crack a smile. Sorry about that, kids. It's comfy in here. Nod off for a bit. You know what they say, a little background noise does wonders for your sleep. So, what were we talking about? Oh, right, my first battle. Yeah, I'm so nervous, I'm about to piss myself. So I really appreciate you guys keeping things lively and taking my mind off things. Keep it up, boys. Why didn't I do this right from the start? It's that simple, man. Stress must have been getting to me. No. Here it comes, though. Yeah, this much should suffice. Little shitheads are picking a fight with me. I'm not gonna be the kind of guy who backs down, but I know arguing with them would be a fool's errand.
振動波、急速に増大。波形パターン、ネガティブ。
Waveform pattern negative.
その部員間あり。音紋照合ネガティブ。高度991発生。繰り返す。高度991発生。リクレーションはそこまでだ。さっさと指揮を戦闘出力に上げろ。ベータ軍、前方距離約4000、接近中。海上部隊、爆雷攻撃実施中。ベータ軍、なおも接近。支援砲撃開始ポイントまで、あと37秒。
You're finally here. Calm down. Double check the TSF, my equipment load, the railgun, all green. I've got this.
各部隊、射撃態勢移行中。
Come on.
20、19、18、17。
Come on!
まだだよ。落ち着けって言うや。テラの冷たい声で淡々と読み上げられちゃ意味悪いだろうけどさ。実際は大したことじゃないんだから。
I appreciate it, but please no!
失礼ね。0アワーマイナス12、11。
ベッドで羊の数でも数えてくれりゃな。できればもっと優しく。
5、4、3。
The beta are closing in on us. The guys are making casual conversation. Man, how far are they willing to go to make me feel at ease? No, the problem is, they've had experience. This is just, they know it's not worth getting riled up yet. Oh, darn grateful, I'll tell you that. You bet I'll return the favor. Me and the Shiranui second together.
2、1、0。
Boom. Artillery fires. Here they come. Makes sense that they'd make it through the first wave.
来やがったな。会いたかったぜ、クソ野郎
Holy crap. So this is what an actual airstrike is like. And here come the sea bombardments too. Pretty much the Soviets holding our hands through the whole ordeal, isn't it? Unbelievable. At this rate, not even a single one of those bees are going to make it past the beach. We won't be able to test anything. No. Remember, they said they're specifically going to allow some through once they hit the numbers that they are comfortable with.
おい、どういうことだ?
And then... What's the matter, Argus 3?
なあ、もしかして戦車の数足りないんじゃ。
What?
砲撃が薄い。
Is it on purpose, though? That's the question.
何?
機甲部隊の展開が鈍い。これでは相当数が撃ち漏らしになる。
サンダーク注意。これはどういう。
私にもわからない。司令部は作戦の決行までに補充を間に合わせると。
ならば早急に司令部に問い合わせていただこ
う。わかった。そうしよう。
プリッツ。
Don't worry about him. Well,
ありが
maybe.
とう。どう思う？
数が要求に達していない。そんな感じね。想定との誤差が広がっているのがわかる。
You're right. She's right. The beta are gaining the upper hand, so even these awesome ground suppression capabilities aren't enough to get rid of those? Dang. Here I was gawking at the strike like a rookie. I am, while Stella and the others were watching with a cool head, keeping tabs on the situation. We're worlds apart in terms of experience. Whatever. Self-recrimination can wait. Headed in game now. Argus 1 to Tsar 1. We should request for additional artillery fire support. Is she ignoring me? In the middle of the gosh darn battle? It's an emergency! Do something! Argus 1 to Tsar 1. Please respond. The situation is...
わねくんじゃないよ、坊や。
What?
段取りのまんまじゃないと何もできないってのか？少しは黙ってろ。ジャール1より各機。弾切れのヘリ部隊に代わり、戦車部隊の交代を支援しろとの命令だ。ジリエザ2、貴様の正体は荷物の番をしろ。前期、抜かるなよ。贅沢な坊やに戦いってものを教えてやれ。
It's true. He shouldn't have reached out to the command right away. They're the third line. Like, they have responses for when they have to do this. Hey, what?
アルゴス1、貴様たちはここを動くな。テストでも何でも勝手にするがいい。ただし、余計なことはするな。
Colonel.
万が一の時は逃げろ。いいな。
Knocking me in my face now of all times? Actually, no, I think she was legitimate there. She's like, look, you're gonna, she probably says like, look, I'd rather have someone who doesn't know what they're doing not shooting around at me. Okay, we're established I don't have combat experience, whatever, but let me tell you something, Grandma. We're all up Stitch Creek without a paddle, so do your effing job. Whatever, not my style, sit back and relax anyway. Let's see. Long-range fire support weapons available are a handful of assault guns that we've got equipped, and the Type 99 railgun. Is this enough firepower to turn things around? Beats me. We still have to try. We didn't come here for spectators crying out loud. No! You don't. You're gonna kill. You're gonna. If you don't know what you're doing, and there are any friendly units in front of you, you could just kill one of them. The Necrons basically said we could do anything we wanted, right? This is the perfect occasion to take her at her word. I just want all TSF for securing a firing position and move to support the armored units retreating.
了解。
ではせめて交代させるべきです。今すぐに。
いいですか、チュー。確かに敵の数は予想以上ですが、我が軍は未だ劣勢ではありません。その上、別区域への上陸の可能性がまだ残っている以上、兵力の移動ができないことはあなたも十分ご承知でしょう。
ですが。
お忘れですか、チュー。あなたの祖国とは違い、幸いなことに、この戦域では前線において爆撃機や攻撃機などの航空兵力が十分機能するのです。
失礼ながら、その稼働率は極めて低いと伺っていますが。
はい。ですがご心配なく。稼働率の高い機体をよりすぐった精鋭部隊を後方の基地に待機させていますので。最終的な安全は我が軍によって担保されています。私たちは自らに課せられた使命、各々の試験任務に集中しましょう。
Oh, look at that. I know it's from the anime, but the animation's great.
ブラーフかレベル4で安定。
遅れを取るな、バーフェイ正体。
Who are you? Like you have a name and like you have an appearance here, but we haven't seen you before yet, have we? Baofeng test flight. Baofeng, that's Chinese, right?
了解。
Oh, those 4 tanks! Oh my gosh! Yeah, the Chinese test flight. Oh.
うろたえるな。ヤーコフの意志は常に我らと共にある。下等生物どもにジャールの鉄槌を下せ。よし。
There we go. You see that crap? I don't have enough tanks to call in the bombers, dang it.
無茶言うな。地上部隊を巻き込んじまうだろうが。
I know, but if we don't turn this around, we're all gonna die. Better bring more troops if we want to make it out alive.
Railgun は使えないか。
No, that's no less insane. How many friendlies do you think there are in the line of fire? You can't use a long-range support weapon in the middle of a free-for-all. You're supposed to use it long before the field turns into a mess. Any way for me to fire? Yeah, there's the no-go. Too many people would die.
おとなしくしてなクソが。あんたさえいなけりゃ前線の戦力はもっと分厚くできたんだ。あんたたちが来たせいでヤーコフは。
Oh, come on. Wait, what? Are you kidding me? Incoming beta from the adjoining area.
アルゴス4よりアルゴス1。このままじゃ撤退中の機甲部隊が。
If they're coming from a different area, maybe we'd have a clear line of fire. Open your eyes, Lieutenant Colonel. The link is up. She's just letting it happen. Argus 1 to command post. Enemy reinforcements have arrived en masse. Tell Zar Battalion to fall back immediately. Once I've got a clear line of fire, I'll use the railgun to wipe out the enemy in one fell swoop. We'll cover their retreat.
コマンドポスト了解。アルゴス1は現座標を維持。攻撃許可を待て。
Argus 1, copy that. Make it quick. Time's running out. Argus 1 to all TSF and getting into firing position.
Okay.
Yo, boy. That's a big gun. The heck are you playing at, Lieutenant Colonel? Why aren't you doing something? Argus 1 to command post. We don't have all day here.
現在、ソ連軍司令部に打診中。そのまま待機せよ。
Hey, crap. He's gonna get slaughtered. What do we do? Just gonna let him get butchered with our thumbs up our butts? No, don't. You just said firing into a melee is a stupid idea. No, not if I have anything to say about it. Argus 1 to Zar 1, Lieutenant Colonel Retro, respond. Lieutenant Colonel.
なんだ。邪魔をするなと言ったはずだ。
Don't you see the enemy forces are coming out our way? You should know as well as I do the armored units will be wiped out. Fall back or...
そんなことは分かっている。
だが交代命令は出ていない。以上だ。
You even hear yourself? That's of hundreds of people beyond you if you stand back and wait for orders. I'm sure she's used to that. God, you never get that scale. You never get that scale. I wish we could like have like a beta, even just one of the smaller ones, like not like the troop size one. I'm talking like the big, like the red ones, like the grapplers, like. They're so freaking big. My God's name, she's still conflicted about this. Just that failed brats wipe their butts with the military discipline with the lives of people at stake. She pulls the indecisive crap. Please, it's now or never. Lieutenant Colonel. Here comes the Chinese.
確かに航空支援も撤退命令もない以上、ここが機甲部隊全滅の瀬戸際。だがなぜだ？なぜ司令部は何も言ってこない？これほどあからさまに命令に対する信頼を揺るがす行為を。
Uh-oh.
まさか。
No, they wouldn't, would they? Oh, interesting.
そういうことか。司令部の豚どもめ。あの新型砲の死者を妨害するためだけに機甲部隊を捨て駒にする気か。
Really? If that's really what it is, if they're really gonna go that far to sabotage the test firing and sacrificing their own troops to do so, that's so cold.
そうはさせるか。ジャール1より大隊各機。これより防衛線を二分する。各中隊ごとに指示座標へ交代。
中佐、機甲部隊の撤退はまだ終わってません。
分かっている。だが安心しろ。この最悪の状況をあの坊やが何とかしてくれるそうだ。時間がないぞ。交代急げ。
Oh boy. Oh boy. So it's no good, huh? Why wouldn't she listen to me? Does she want to save face so badly she'd rather get her comrades killed than put her trust in a rookie?
コマンドポストよりアルゴス1。ジャール大隊は交代命令を受諾。砲撃を許可する。
Yes! Argus 1, read you loud and clear. Time to die. It's now or never. Firing up the superconducting motor. Oh boy, super railgun.
確か砲撃戦はアメリカ軍のお家芸だったよな。
Loading cartridge.
頼んだわよ、ユウヤ。
Mount arm attached.
ぶちかませ、ユウヤ！
Here we go. Real fire time. Let's do this. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's a good picture right there. Die, you alien freaks! Oh, that would be so horrifically loud. Like, we're talking about... So, you're talking about rails, pieces of metal that are being fired. Like, bullets are loud because they break the sound barrier, right? But these are, like... They're so big, the breaking of the sound barrier, that, like, it would be so good. Like, you gotta remember, like... Okay. A 50 caliber sniper rifle. The bullet doesn't actually have to hit a target to kill them. You just have to get roughly within like 3 feet because the hypersonic waves of the sound barrier breaking around the bullet and the air fluctuations around that process are so intense it can just shatter people's bones. This thing is that on the magnitude of insanity. This thing's bullets wouldn't even need to be within like maybe even 100 feet of a person without like some kind of protective barrier for them to just be evaporated. And this thing's hitting mostly fleshy targeted beta. This thing doesn't even need to hit them. This thing just needs to be around them and they're just gonna fall to pieces. Oh! Holy crap.
これは
Yeah. Instant super dead. Ah! I don't care if I first battle. I don't care if I only know the life from the rear. I don't care the crafts obnoxious Lieutenant Colonel end up beta chowder. I will stop at nothing to protect the people I care about. Now die for me. Oh. Jeez. It's just dead.
中佐、一体何が起きたんですか？
Oh, so now even the Chinese are like, holy crap.
あの坊や。全く動きに迷いがなかった。こんな大それたことをする度胸があったとは。たまには面白いやつも出てくるものだな。ジャール1より各機。休憩はおしまいだ。残飯を平らげろ。
They're like, even if they don't like him, like, I think I'd be super friendly back because I'd be like, they could kill all of us with that thing. Yeah, it's happy, but everyone else is like, if I weren't on the side of the UN and US forces and Japanese forces with that technology, I would be crapping the bed that night. I'd be like, holy we don't stand a chance. If we go to human-on-human battles and they've got that on their side, we're just dead. He's like, holy crap.
友軍の損耗は均少です。前線の各部隊は、すでに暫定掃討戦に移行しつつあり、
第27航空中隊より、転進許可を求める通信が入っています。
ブラボーブラボー
Yeah, just,
よかった。
素晴らしい。想像以上です。おめでとう。帰国の技術者は驚嘆すべき仕事を成し遂げましたな。
I think that's one thing too, though. Like, when you've been fighting beta for so long, like, you've got it running in the back of your mind, like the geopolitics and stuff. But when seeing that level of like one TSF being able to do that by themselves, like, it takes all these like preconceived notions you have about the beta war, all the losses you've seen, all the struggles you've seen, and you can just imagine, just like, what if we had just like a squadron of TSFs who all had one of these babies on each squad of 4. All they do is set up a defensive perimeter and just unload whenever betas show up. Like the Sendek, he probably was working on the manipulations, and he's probably actually going to get in trouble because the manipulations didn't work out like they wanted them to. But having seen that, and having watched his soldiers and people dying on the battlefield, like, how could you not see, like, initially the hope and glory of, like, this can change everything?
はあ、恐縮です。
高村中尉。小隊の状況確認と行動の指示を頼む。
しかし、私はあくまで XFJ 計画の開発責任者で、戦闘状況においての指揮権は。
すまないが頼まれてくれ。私は小隊各機の戦術データを検証しなければならない。だとすれば適任者は君だ。
I wonder, is he like maneuvering her to take his place?
鈍感というのは日本人特有の資質なのか？
Yeah, there's some other stuff going on.
コマンドポストよりアルゴス1。
Oh, Lieutenant, why are you on the line?
いや、緊急事態だ。
Oh, like he shot everything. I think it said like it had like 99 shots or something. Oh gosh, like, or like just a couple hundred, and it's just empty now. What? An emergency?
いや、アルゴス1、現状報告せよ。
Argus 1, roger that. All TSS are alive and well. We've taken no damage. That includes the lieutenant's precious railgun.
そうか。とにかく、よくやったぞ、アルゴス1。初陣にしては上出来だ。
To be fair, surviving his first 8 minutes of battle is a bit cheating when he has that on his side. Yeah, that's my line, Lieutenant. Weren't you watching? Your baby, the railgun saved our butts. I guess Japanese craftsmanship is pretty darn good, huh? Aww, she's blushing. Command post awaiting orders.
状況終了。アルゴス試験小隊は速やかに起動せよ。
Argus 1, copy that. Aww, she's like crying. Say hello to my little friend achievement unlocked. That's a good one for it. Alright. We're going to see the fallout of all this next time, but that's a great place for us to stop. Now we're going to see just like how things happen now, like the danger's over. We won. A lot of people avoided death. It was one of the most resounding victories against the beta in live combat we've seen up till this point in the timeline. It's gotta feel good. Like, this is going to be sending shockwaves. And that's kind of the thing, too, is like, the Soviets probably wanted to stop that because it kind of establishes the UN and US forces, like, as the dominant, like, so US, UN, Japanese forces as the leading three, you could say, of the future of beta warfare. Because the thing is, they know the Empire's developed this technology, and they're going to be the first ones to deploy it. They're working very closely with the United States on a joint program to make a joint TSF, which pretty much just shows that, like, you can essentially equate US and Japan because they're allies, and the UN is the bridge between them. Put that all together, and you essentially have the three block. And so everyone else, like, you got the Canadians and French, you got the Russians and, like, the South America, Africa. All these forces now are going to be looking to the United States, to Japan, and to the UN to field pretty much the future of beta warfare. And that's going to give a lot of clearance to their ideologies. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but still very cool. Very, very fun. That was a good episode. Whew. Not nearly as intense as other beta fights, but still pretty fun. I'm very happy with that. I'm really curious to see how this all plays out now. Like, what's going to be the direct fallout, especially for our friends. Like, now that like Cryska and Inia have seen that, like, is that going to change how they see Yuuya? Like, and what about that memory deletion set? Like, are they going to be able to contend with that? Like, how do you foster a friendship when people's minds are routinely being, like, reset? That's just, it's just rough. I don't know. Like, maybe what it is for her too is, like, they just have a baseline they set for her. Maybe they reset it every few months or so she doesn't, like, forget the passage of time per se. But anytime they have an anomaly, they just kind of reset her to, like, a week ago or a month ago. And that could explain why she knows him, but also, like, they haven't had that bridge building anymore because that kind of got done away with. So yeah, we're gonna have to see. But yeah, I have a feeling those little turds are gonna suddenly be feeling very, very friendly to all these guys. But we'll have to see how this all plays out. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for being a part of the channel. I've got a bit of an announcement. I'm gonna probably make a formal announcement for this later, but I have switched up Patreon perks, essentially. Not really that big of a difference, but if you've ever wanted to be part of, like, knowing what we're and having a hand on what we play on the channel directly, being a patron and probably membership on the channel, because I'm thinking I'm just going to switch that on since that might just be a lot easier for people. It's essentially going to be the same. If you're part of the membership program on YouTube or Patreon, like, it's essentially going to be identical. You're going to get the same perks. You're going to get the same, like, everything. It just kind of becomes which method do you prefer. But regardless of how, if you're an active supporter, you get to have direct voting capabilities on any Friday series, and I'm unlocking that. I used to kind of keep that locked down to series that were requested from developers that were smaller or that were, like, reaching out to me officially saying, like, hey, I want you to play this on the channel. I'm going to switch that up with Wednesdays. I'm going to kind of just have direct control over that completely. And instead, I'm going to offer up what would normally be the Wednesday slot, which is kind of the grab bag, you could say, for all of you. I've kind of reserved Mondays for my big series visual novels. So, like, Muv-Luv, and then once we finish Muv-Luv, I'm going to jump into Higurashi Numeneko. Like, that's going to be a bear one of a series to go through, but we're going to do it. But then what now is going to be Friday series is going to be the stuff that's, like, smaller or slightly more, like, insular. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean, like, it's not something that has, like, a series and a sequel, but maybe we'll have gaps between it, for instance. So, one of the series that's been requested is something like Chaos Head and Chaos Child. Those are two that are part of the same series but are separated. So I maybe we'll start one of them, and then maybe we'll end up having a vote of doing something else in between. Maybe Ubisoft like types of titles, which are really nice because they're very singular, even if they're part of, like, packs. They follow completely different storylines and such. Baldur's Sky is one that's been thrown out there, although that one has some restrictions. And that's the thing, like, any of these things that come up, patrons are going to be able to put up, like, what they're most interested in. I'll make, like, a cultivated list of, like, three to five options, and then the patrons and members will be able to do a direct democracy style voting, and whatever one wins will be the next series we do on the Friday. And then every time a new series comes up for that rotation, I again will ask, and the members and the patrons will have that direct access and to not only cast their votes, but also to not only to offer up their opinions, like, on what should take priority, but also what will actually be the one that gets selected. So if that sounds of interest to you and you'd like to continue to support the channel directly, like, that's the behind the scenes stuff I'm going to give you besides the patron cast. So I don't normally shill it really. Like, I don't want to be like advertising it all, but because there is this big change, I am going to be talking about it in this week's videos, and probably even do like a little like offer video this coming weekend, just kind of like make sure everyone hears the message for sure that this is just a change we're seeing in the channel. Normally, I would probably do big changes like this at the end of the year, but I don't want to wait. I think it's time for us to do this shift. It's something I've been considering for a while now, and it's just it's time I pull the trigger. So. With Cooking Companions, like when it's finished, we're going to be doing that shift, and that's going to be over pretty soon. So it's worth thinking about now. You got plenty of time, and don't feel like you have to. Like, if you're here, you still get chances to vote on content that comes onto the channel. Like, I always leave general like election type content always. Like, almost every year we do at least one round of voting if you've been here long enough. So like, even if you're not a direct supporter of the channel, you're gonna have a say in the kind of content that I prioritize. But if you want to have a consistent say, and you also want to see some of the behind the scenes patron casts and all that, like, this is a great way to get access to it. But again, it's just a way for me, the only way I can think of giving a solid perk to people who want to support me directly. So there you go. Otherwise, just know that we're going to be covering lots of good content that is never going to be something you have to pay for. It's always something that's going to be available to you. And frankly, the only reason why the support helps is it lets me buy like art for the channel, builds a secure base for me to kind of jump into more like risque waters, you could say. Like, not even like risque as far as like the content, but more of like the type of content. Like my the rewrite, like we're doing rewrite right now on Wednesdays. Those videos do not get monetized by me at all. Like, I don't even try to monetize them, but then they get claimed by the publishing company anyway. So all the ads you see on those, they're just going straight to the publisher. I don't see a cent of it. So, and that's fine, but like, that's the thing, is that happens a lot. So being able to have direct support is really handy because it helps me acquire the games I need. It helps me keep my PC up and running, and, you know, just meets the needs of making content and trying to make it better every time. So anyway, thank you for that long-winded stuff. I look forward to talking to all of you. Hope you don't mind that I went on that spiel, but just want to say what's going on. So until next video, watch me or see me next. I'll see you there.